Welcome to a journey deep into the heart of Central America, where the ground beneath your feet tells a story millions of years in the making. If you've ever flown over Guatemala or driven through its winding mountain passes, you've likely seen it. Vibrant, almost neon red soil that seems to bleed out of the hillsides. Most people see a stain on their laundry. Geologists see a literal gold mine, or more accurately, a nickel and jade treasure chest. Guatemala is a geological crossroads, a place where three massive tectonic plates, the North American, the Caribbean, and the Cocos, engage in a high-stakes game of bumper cars. This collision has created the Motagua Suture Zone, a jagged scar across the landscape that holds some of the most fascinating rocks on the planet. Today, we're going to find out why this red dirt is the ultimate reward for those who know how to read the rocks. To understand the red dirt, we first have to understand the parent rock, and that takes us to the Ophiolitic belts. Now, if you aren't a geology nerd, an ophiolite is basically a slice of the ocean floor that got lost on its way to subduction and ended up on top of a mountain. It's like finding a deep-sea fish in your attic. It shouldn't be there, but it tells you a lot about where the house has been. These belts are rich in ultramafic rocks like peridotite and dunite, which are packed with magnesium and iron, and just a dash of nickel. The star of our show is the Izabal Geosol, a specific type of soil profile that has developed over these ancient oceanic rocks. Think of it as a geological layer cake, but instead of frosting, you have iron oxides, and instead of sprinkles, you have nickel-rich minerals. This soil doesn't just happen overnight, it requires millions of years of tropical rain and heat to cook the rock into the red laterite we see today. The process is called lateritization, which is basically Earth's way of leaching away the stuff it doesn't want and leaving behind the good stuff. In the wet tropical climate of Guatemala, rainwater seeps into the ground and dissolves minerals like magnesium and silica. As these are washed away, the elements that aren't easily dissolved, like iron, aluminum, and nickel, become more and more concentrated. What makes Guatemala unique is that its laterites are immature compared to the massive deposits you find in places like Australia or Brazil. In those older terrains, the weathering has gone on for so long that the profile is deep and stable. In Guatemala, the tectonics are so active that the development of the soil is often arrested or interrupted. This arrested development actually creates a very specific geochemical signature that exploration geologists love to track. One of the coolest features of the Izabal Geosol is the stoneline. This is exactly what it sounds like, a layer of hard rock fragments sitting in the middle of the soft red clay. It acts as a marker for geologists, helping them understand how the soil has moved and evolved over time. Below the stone line you often find the saprolite, which is rock that has been chemically weathered so much it has the consistency of cheese. It's weird, it's squishy, and it's where the highest grades of nickel usually hide. Now, if you're a junior geologist out in the field, you might be looking for garnierite. This is a beautiful, bright green mineral that looks more like a gemstone than an industrial ore. When you see those green veins cutting through the red dirt, you know you're on the right track. It's the visual payday in a landscape dominated by rust-colored hills. If you are interested in these subjects, please subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment from where you're visiting, and share this channel with your friends. Until next time, keep exploring. Welcome back. While the nickel is a huge part of the reward, the red dirt of Guatemala hides another secret. Magnetite. Most nickel laterites in the world have lost their magnetic properties because they are so old and weathered, but because Guatemala's laterites are geologically young, they can contain up to 30% primary magnetite in the lower horizons. This is a game changer for exploration because it means we can fly drones or planes with magnets over the jungle to find hidden pockets of ore. It's like using a metal detector at the beach, but instead of finding lost quarters, you're finding millions of tons of nickel-bearing magnetite. This magnetite isn't just a marker, it's actually a valuable byproduct. Imagine a mining operation where you don't just get nickel and cobalt, but also a high-grade iron ore that you can feed directly into a steel plant. That's the kind of efficiency that makes geologists and investors very happy. But wait, there's more. The same tectonic forces that pushed these oceanic rocks onto the land also created high-pressure, low-temperature environments. This is the perfect kitchen for making jadeitite, or what the world knows as Maya jade. For over 3,000 years, the indigenous people of Central America have prized this stone for its beauty and toughness. It only forms in very specific subduction zones, and the Motagua Valley is one of the few places on Earth where you can find it. Guatemalan jade isn't just green, it comes in a rainbow of colors, including lavender, blue, and a rare galactic black jade with gold and silver inclusions. Finding a jade boulder in a riverbed is like finding a diamond in the rough, except the boulder might weigh 3 tons. The mineralogy of these stones is incredibly complex, involving a mix of jadeite, anthracite, and albite, all caught in a metamorphic dance. And we can't forget about the gold. While the red dirt is famous for nickel, the broader Suture Zone is home to world-class epithermal gold deposits, like the Marlin Project. These deposits form when hot mineral-rich fluids circulate through faults and cracks in the crust. In Guatemala, these fluids often interact with the same Ophiolitic rocks we've been talking about, creating a metallogenic cocktail that can host gold, silver, and even platinum group metals. Prospecting in these areas requires a bit of detective work. You have to look for circular structures on topographic maps, which often indicate underlying intrusive bodies. You also look for staining, not just the red of iron, but the specific blues and greens of copper and nickel oxides. It's a multi-sensory experience. Sometimes you can even smell the sulfur in the air near an active fault or hydrothermal vent. Geology in Guatemala is also a bit of a workout. To find the best samples, you often have to hike through dense jungle, dodge tropical downpours, and climb slopes that are steeper than 45 degrees. If the slope is too steep, the red dirt washes away before it can form a thick profile. If it's too flat, the water doesn't circulate well enough to concentrate the metals. Geologists look for that Goldilocks slope, just right for keeping the laterite in place. The road geology in central Guatemala is like a textbook come to life. As you drive along the Carretera al Atlántico, you can see the contact between the Maya block and the Chortis block. You'll see pervasively deformed shear surfaces, mylonitic zones that look like stretched out taffy, and massive outcrops of serpentinite that feel as slippery as a wet bar of soap. It's a place where you can see the immense power of plate tectonics with your own eyes. Beyond the science, there's a deep cultural connection to this land. The Mayans didn't just use jade for jewelry, they used obsidian for scalpels and mirrors, and they understood the value of the different rock types for building their magnificent pyramids. When we explore for minerals today, we are often walking in the footsteps of ancient prospectors who knew these mountains better than we ever will. Guatemala is proof that dirt is never just dirt. It's a record of ancient oceans, of continents colliding, and of chemical processes that turn ordinary rocks into extraordinary wealth. Whether you're looking for nickel to power the next generation of electric vehicle batteries, or searching for a piece of lavender jade that would make a Maya king jealous, the rewards are there if you know where to look. As we wrap up our tour of Guatemala's geological wonders, remember that every rock has a story to tell. The red dirt is just the cover of a book that's still being written, with new chapters being discovered every time a geologist picks up a rock hammer or runs a geochemical survey. It's a reminder that our planet's alive, constantly recycling itself and creating new opportunities for discovery. If you are interested in these subjects, please subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment from where are you visiting, and share this channel with your friends. Until next time, keep exploring.